My name is Ethan, and despite what people tell me about my good looks, I've never found someone to share my life. Perhaps it's my awkwardness, or maybe a deeper flaw I can't quite see. One frigid November night, passing the old Blackwood Grove bus depot, a figure emerged from the swirling fog. A girl unlike any I'd ever seen. Her raven hair cascaded down her back like a silken waterfall, and her eyes, dark and deep-set, possessed an unnerving intensity, seeming to glow in the feeble light of the depot's lone flickering bulb. I was transfixed, pulled into her orbit by an invisible force. An irrational impulse seized me. Pretending to fumble with my phone, I surreptitiously snapped a picture, hoping to capture something of her ethereal beauty. The instant the shutter clicked, a cold dread washed over me. I felt her gaze pierce through me, those eyes boring into my soul. It wasn't just observation. It was a profound, unsettling awareness. A shiver ran down my spine, a premonition of something terrible. Panicked, I lowered my phone, mumbled an incoherent apology to the empty air, and fled. Blackwood Grove seemed to stretch on forever as I hurried home. The unsettling image of her eyes burned into the back of my mind. Back in the supposed safety of my inherited, creaky Victorian house, a place already steeped in an atmosphere of unease, I tried to rationalize my fear. It was just a girl, I told myself, a stranger in the night. But the memory of her gaze would fade. Driven by a morbid curiosity, I finally summoned the courage to open my photo library. The image loaded, and I froze, my blood turning to ice. It wasn't her. Where her face should have been was only a swirling vortex of shadow, a gaping hole in reality. The long black hair was there, the faded outline of her figure, even the grainy texture of the bus depot wall. But the face was gone, replaced by an empty, consuming darkness. My breath itched in my throat. I scrolled through the image, zoomed in, hoping it was just a glitch, a trick of the light. But the void remained, an unnerving abyss staring back at me. Suddenly, a gust of wind rattled the windows of my study. Though the night had been calm just moments before, the old house groaned, settling in a way that sounded almost like a mournful sigh. I dismissed it as my imagination, fueled by fear and a vivid memory, until the lights began to flicker. The room plunged into near darkness, illuminated only by the eerie glow of my phone screen, still displaying the horrifying picture. Then I heard a faint whisper, a sibilant hiss that seemed to come from the shadows themselves. It slithered around the room, wrapping me in a cloak of icy dread. I strained to understand the words, but they were just beyond my grasp, a language of nightmares spoken in the rustling of leaves and the creaking of floorboards. Terror gripped me. I fumbled for the light switch, desperate to banish the darkness, but nothing happened. The whispers intensified, drawing closer. I squeezed my eyes shut, praying it was just a hallucination, a product of sleep deprivation and an overactive imagination. When I dared to open them again, the shadow on my phone screen seemed to have deepened, to have spread beyond the confines of the photograph. It was reaching out, tendrils of darkness snaking across the screen, towards me. Then I saw her. Not on the phone, but in the reflection of the darkened window. She stood behind me, just beyond the edge of my peripheral vision. Her black hair swayed slightly, as if caught in a non-existent breeze, and her eyes, those eyes burned with an unholy light. The whispering solidified into a single, chilling voice. "You shouldn't have taken my picture, Evan." I tried to scream, to run, but my limbs were leaving, paralyzed by fear. The shadow from the phone reached me, engulfing me in its cold embrace. I felt a crushing pressure on my chest, a suffocating weight that stole my breath. As darkness consumed me, I saw her face in the window reflection, and the void where her features should have been was now filled with my own terrified face, dissolving into nothingness. They say Blackwood Grove is haunted. They whisper of a vengeful spirit, a woman who disappeared years ago, her identity lost to time. They say if you see her, if you capture her image, she claims your face, leaving you a hollow shell, forever trapped in the shadows. I never believed the stories, until that night at the bus stop. Now I am one of them, another face lost in the darkness of Blackwood Grove.